Hey guys, Ryan Melrose here. Now, today I'm going to be reading a short story I wrote that I've also shared on my blog, and I thought it'd be cool to do a bit of a video log about it too. This may or may not be adapted into a comic version later on, but until then I just wanted to share my short story, share my ideas, and let's get into it. This one is called Trapped. Hope you guys enjoy it. Alright, let's bring it up. Okay, let's do this. Okay. Trapped, a short story by Ryan Melrose. Hi there to everyone reading this. I hope you are all doing well. Let me ask you this question. Have you ever felt like you were trapped? Trapped with no way out? Well, I've felt that way before. And if you can spare just a few minutes, I will tell you my story. My name is Benjamin Joseph Walkerman, and this is the story of how I was trapped. I think for me the story really began on a typical day working a fast food job. The restaurant I worked in was called Big Boy Mike's. It was a burger joint. I didn't mind working there, spending hours flipping burger patties and frying up some fries for all the hungry customers. It felt rewarding making sure the world didn't go hungry. That being said, as the years went by, things changed as other people started working there and were promoted ahead of me after I trained them, and my hours and hourly wage began to drop. It was then I first felt trapped. In this case, I felt trapped in a dead-end job. I was too afraid to leave, fearing I'd never find another job and would eventually die in the streets. I really did feel trapped. A prison in my own life. Until one day, I blacked out. The next thing I knew, I was going for a jog through the mountain trail on the outskirts of town. I knew it well, for I would jog there at some point every day for 2 hours. And for those 2 hours, I would leave the wolf outside and not worry about a thing. Well, this day, I decided to run down a different trail. I figured, why not? It will be an adventure, so away I went jogging down this new trail. I was having a great time. I didn't have a care in the world. Until I realized I had no idea where I was. Or where I was going. I was truly lost. I tried jogging back the way I came. I must have been jogging for hours and could not find my way back. No matter how much I ran or how far I could not find my way home. Before I knew it, the afternoon sun was beginning to set. I have been jogging all day long. I was beginning to panic. I tried pulling out my phone to call for help. I was horrified to see I had no reception. Soon the night sky set upon me. Winds blew hard and cold. Me shivering, I continued to walk the trail. As I felt colder, everything around me felt darker. And darker, the deeper I ventured in. Soon I felt helpless and alone. Nothing but the scary roars of the wind to keep me company. A terrifying sound, like a hungry monster looking for its meal. You never heard anything like it. You have to wonder, how can something like wind sound so scary? I was afraid and blind to the world around me. Still, I kept moving on. Only the sound of my feet stepping calmed my nerves. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Along I went, left and right, until silence fell. A dreading silence that still haunts me to this day. I couldn't feel the ground beneath me. There was nothing there. I realized I was falling. I stepped off the mountain trail. As I fell, I saw nothing when I looked down, nothing but more darkness. I thought I'd fall forever, into the nothingness, the abyss. My heart sank as I fell. I suddenly hit the rough ground. I could feel pain all through my body, scratches all over me, as if the ground were alive and scratched me with claws. I realized I was lying in the sands and the sharp rocks. I was lucky to be alive. I could hardly move, my right leg broken. I sat up against the face of the cliff as waves of the water crashed into me, trying to suck me into the ocean of everlasting darkness. I was freezing and getting colder with every wave and that strong breezy wind. I thought I was going to die. I was trapped with no way out. I felt like passing out, felt my eyes getting heavier. Then suddenly, a feeling came over me and I screamed, "No!" I managed to pull myself to my feet, despite my broken leg, and began to climb. The cliff felt slippery and hard to get a solid grip. My feet slipping and I fell again. I managed to pull myself up again and once again tried to climb. I managed to get higher, so I climbed and climbed. I felt like I was getting higher and higher. I was horrified when I looked up to see that I was no higher to the top. The top was the same distance away. Still, I kept climbing and climbing. Felt like I was climbing for days, yet the top remained out of my reach, always that same distance away. Soon my arms were no longer able to hold on to the cliff, and I fell again, watching the cliff top disappearing into the night. After that final fall, I couldn't bring myself to my feet again, like a weight was holding me down. I laid there for a while. I was beginning to accept my fate, that I was going to die here. The only thing I could do is turn my head and watch the ocean and fall asleep to the peaceful sound of waves. Then I saw something. Like a miracle. A light spinning round. At first I thought this was the light into heaven. I thought, this is it. The moment of my death. I don't want to go, I kept telling myself. I kept watching the light shine round and round. I moved my head to the right. And it was there. I saw where the light was coming from. What I saw I couldn't believe. It was a nearby lighthouse. At that moment, I felt strength enter my body again, and I was able to move again. I still couldn't get to my feet, so I crawled. I crawled my way out, through the sharp rocks. It hurt, but I fought through the pain of rock cutting my flesh. I crawled like my life depended on it, until I was through the rock jungle. Then I crawled through the tough sandy terrain, sand sticking to my blood, causing an agonizing burning pain. I looked back to see the bloody trail I was leaving as I crawled, my broken leg aching every time I moved. At long last I reached the lighthouse. I was inching for the door, and with the final ounce of my strength, I used my fist and banged on the door as loud as I could before I passed out. I suddenly awakened in hospital, like it was instantaneous. I told them about my ordeal. When the doctor told me something, I just couldn't believe. Even to this day, it freaks me out. The doctor had informed me I was found at my workstation. They told me that there was no mountain trail. I didn't fall from a cliff or was found at a lighthouse. It turned out I was in a coma for 2 months, and that they were just about to pull the plug on me. To this day, I remember every detail about the dream and the coma, being trapped in the never-ending woods and the inclimbable cliff. I think about it every day, that experience. I've come to realize it was my choice all along. I know now, it was my choice. I could have gave up in the never-ending woods. I could have let the ocean take me to the bottom. At the bottom of the cliff, I could have chosen to remain trapped. But I didn't. Instead, I chose to fight for my survival, and I believe that's what gave me the will to come out of my coma. Hard to believe that was 10 years ago. I quit my dead-end job the second I was released from hospital, and I did it with no regrets, my mind filled with the lessons the coma-induced dream taught me, and I've been living happier ever since, living a true and happy life as a writer, telling my story to people just like you. I'm even married now with a beautiful wife. We're expecting a little one any day now, and this is where I leave you now. If you take anything from this story, whenever in your life you feel like you are trapped, remember my story and know you can choose to break free. Sincerely yours, Benjamin Joseph Walkerman. Hey. Well, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that little short story. It is fictional. Any names used in the story are entirely coincidental. Copyright by me, 2018. An interesting fact about this story, I came up with it from a real life experience when I myself was trapped at the bottom of a cliff and I had to climb my way out. Took me a few hours. But yeah, so yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed that. And let me know if you'd like me to tell more of these short stories. So I'm thinking of doing more short stories for my blog. And as always, if you want to check out my blog, it's in the link to my description. And you can follow my blog to look at all my other fictional and original content. Through my blog, you have access to everything I've done. You know, you can view my webcomics for free. You can look up the product pages, etc., etc. So yeah, stop and by, hang out, mingle, and I'll catch you next time for another video.